Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are converting this Brompton A Line into an electric Brompton, and it's that easy. I'm going to be carrying out the conversion in my living room. So the conversion kit I'm going to use is my very own Kirbebike Easy Rider, and we do a special one for the Brompton, so this is basically it. So the Easy Rider kit is centered around this main unit. This goes on the front of the bike, and effectively this contains a battery, a speed controller, and this really cool white daytime running light that goes on the front. And this main unit contains a 7 amp-hour battery, which could be enough for 30 miles range depending on the terrain and everything like that. But it's also incredibly compact. This will fit in a bag easily, and it can also be removed from the bike. If you want to lock the bike up anywhere, you can actually remove this main unit. So we're going to start by putting this on charge. It's probably about 70 to 80% charged when it arrives, but we just want to top it off whilst we're setting the bike up, because it really isn't going to take that long to do the conversions. So we want to get this fully charged for our first ride. Now, I really love my Papyrus white Brompton A Line, and I don't really want to compromise on, its practicality. I want to retain the folding ability, of course, because that's the main thing about having a Brompton. Also, the weight of this thing, I don't want it to be too heavy, but whilst it will add a bit of weight, it shouldn't be too much. That's pretty light, that front wheel. So let's get stuck in and convert this little Brompton into electric power. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is remove the front wheel. On this particular Brompton, it's got this sort of hub setup. So you basically need a 4mm hex driver just to literally undo that. And then if we loosen the other side as well, the whole through axle should come out. Now you can put this aside because you won't be needing that for the conversion. You'll see here I've taken off one of the brake pads. That's essential so you can actually get the wheel out. Now at this point you can sort of fold the back wheel up and actually get the bike to stand up on its own whilst you remove the front wheel. It's so light, this thing, that it's easy to work on. Now the next job is to take the tyre from the old wheel and put it on the new wheel. You could of course just buy another tyre and use that for the electric hub and leave this one intact, but we're just going to swap the tyres over, let the air out. Get the tyre levers included in the Kirbebike kit, which makes it super easy. These tyres are pretty easy to get off as well. Now with the tyre off, there is a rotation on this particular tyre, so going forward the motor will be travelling this way and the wire of the motor should be on the left of the fork when we install it in a minute. So with the tyre on, I did use a bit of washing up liquid to kind of ease the tyre on, because the rim is a little bit thinner than the original rim, so bear that in mind. But it's actually all on there now, so I've used the nuts that obviously come with the kit, and this little torque thing there as well, and the washer. So that's what I've done on that side. On this side, it's important, as I was saying, you've got to have the wire coming out of the left hand side to make sure it obviously the wheel is going the right way, and the exit point is coming out here. You've got to be really careful with this bit here, because obviously this bit is moving and these are quite sharp here, so that might catch on the wire. So what we're going to do is sort of like kind of cable tie that back up onto the fork, so it obviously doesn't have any contact with the rim at all. But all in all, the wheel install, which is probably the hardest bit, is actually done. So we've been making some really good progress with the bike. Obviously the front wheel is all on and done up. I've put another cable tie up here just to sort of clamp this wire to make sure it doesn't go anywhere near the braking system or anything like that. So the motor wire coming up here I've just left loose, because obviously when this folds down you want to be able to make sure that it can do that without any restrictions. So we'll see how it kind of works on this bike. And then up to the handlebars, what I've done is I've used the smallest rubber that comes with the kit, because these handlebars are quite a small diameter. It's very easy to just obviously put this clamp on, and that's all explained in the instructions, including this bit here, which stops it from obviously tilting too far forward. The connector from the motor goes straight into the back of this little kind of connection block here, which then obviously connects to the main unit. But this is a really good system. I love this. This is the connector for the main unit, which will just literally click onto here, and then it's one connector and you're done. There's one final thing to do though, and that is put the pedal assist sensor on, which comes in two halves like this, so you don't actually have to take the pedal crank arm off or anything like that. So we can just click that on. Once that's on, it says working surface on this side. You want to keep that towards that the inside of the bike, and then you have a retaining ring that goes around to sort of hold it on. So we'll do that now. Now the sensor here, which basically goes somewhere around here to trigger this sensor by using these magnets, so that's how it detects when you're pedaling, so it can add some assistance. Now the problem is with this particular bike, there's not really any good place to mount this. Normally it'd go on that tube, but because we've got a bit more space here, we're going to have to just slightly modify this. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove this section here and then stick it in that little gap there, and that should work absolutely fine. It should actually work better because you've got quite a good area for that to stick on. So I've just unscrewed the little bracket, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these two sections off. So with the sides cut down, you can see it nicely fits there, and that will make contact with that magnet. And we also have enough wire to run up to the top as well, plenty of slack, so that's good. I'm going to use a bit of 3M tape just to secure this. Just get that in the right place for the magnet. This is seriously good all-weather tape, this. That will not come off. Right then, so the conversion's complete. I've done a few other things which I'll show you in a minute, but we're pretty much ready to stick on the main unit. So the main unit literally just clicks on the front like that. Then all you've got to do is just put on this connector here, and we're good to go. So we can turn it on, make sure it's all working, lights coming on. So the other thing I did was fit the brake sensors. These aren't completely necessary, but it's a good safety feature. So basically there's a little magnet here, and it's got to come in contact with this. And when it's like that, it's obviously going to allow the motor to be working. As soon as you lose contact here, you'll see there's a little brake symbol there. In the top left corner, you see that's showing that the system is braked. It's a good idea to have that on. As I say, don't have to, it can be a bit messy with wires, but it's a good idea to have it on because it will cut the motor when you grab a brake lever. But all the other wiring is pretty stealth. I've just looped that one round from the sensor over there. And the cool thing is, the wires can just go where the factory ones do for the brake cables and stuff here. So I did add a cable tie here, which I didn't really want to because it was quite neat having that go down. But we'll check out what it folds up like in a minute. But obviously you're going to have to take this the battery unit off when you do that. But enough talking, I'm excited for a test ride now. Right, so initial test, as soon as I come out, it starts raining. It's absolutely typical. I haven't even turned it on yet. It's literally off. I just wanted to test rolling resistance, and it hasn't really made a lot of difference, I've got to say. I mean, I'm sure you'd notice it on kind of steep climbs and stuff, but yeah, it hasn't made any difference really. I can't feel much difference at all. This obviously added a bit of weight, but it's generally fine. So let's just turn this on, and we'll see how this bad boy performs. So you've got 3 power levels, and you can also turn off the power assist as well, which is like kind of an eco mode, and then you've got a sport mode and then a climb mode. So we're going to try the first one, which is eco, so that's power level 1, and I'm just going to set off. I'm in quite a sort of low gear anyway, but I can feel there's an assistance there, definitely. Yeah, no, that's sort of pulling me up the hill pretty nicely. And you can feel it increasing speed. So this is obviously limited to 15.5 miles an hour, which is, you know, the standard sort of e-bike rule in the UK. Right, so still in assist level 1. I'm going to go down this hill, and basically this is quite a steep hill at the bottom, and I struggle to pedal this bike up this hill, mainly because it's got a massive kind of incline, well, a slow incline up to this point as well. So you've got this slow hill, and then you've got a really, really sharp hill as well, like this one here. So I'm going to get to the bottom, and I'm just going to try and see what the assistance is like coming up this hill, because this is a pretty big one. So you can see here, this sort of goes downhill, and I'm fine when I go into the town because I just go downhill. But when you're coming back, it's a little bit of work, which I'm not worried about too much. But right, anyway, so starting to pedal. You can feel it sort of slowing down, but I'm going to put it into climb mode now. I can feel it going. I've just had to brake because it's got quite a bit of torque. I'm going to give it some pedals as well, but wow, I can actually feel that front wheel. You can hear it sort of almost struggling for traction a little bit, because my weight is shifted to the back. But that's crazy. If you knew the steepness of this hill and how difficult it was before on this bike, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I think because of the small wheel size at the front, it's actually creating, you're getting a lot of torque. Obviously we do these kits for the bigger bikes as well, like 26, 27 inch and all of that stuff. So, it's a lot different because you haven't got as much. With a larger wheel, there's less sort of leverage, isn't there? So it takes a little while longer to get going. But that's impressive. Right, anyway, onwards. We're going to go into the town and see how this thing holds up. So already I'm loving the fact I'm just going to breeze past all this traffic. That's the great thing about these little bikes, and the fact that it's foldable as well. You can just take it anywhere. It's just amazing, really. It's absolute chaos down here. So guys, I've just been having a nice little cruise around with pretty much zero effort. I mean, I do like to put a bit of effort in on this thing to, you know, keep fit. So, you know, perhaps I'll be kind of just backing down the power level, or maybe even just, you know, leave the actual unit at home. I probably won't though, to be honest, because it is kind of fun just blasting around. But you can always turn the power down and still actually get a bit of work in. If you were to put it on sort of 1, then you're still having to put a bit of effort in to get, you know, get to the speed that you kind of want to be traveling. But if you want to get somewhere in a hurry, you really haven't got a problem, because you can just stick it into 3 and it matches the pedals quite nicely actually. So now it's sort of bouncing off of 15.5 mile an hour, but you can pretty much hold 15.5 mile an hour and just get where you want to super quick. Amazing. Right, well, I am going to have to get back before it absolutely shuts it down. There's one big hill on the way home which I want to try, and we'll see, because I can't make that up, not on these tiny little wheels. If you hammer this about, you're definitely going to get through some brake pads. That is one thing. It's a lot of fun though. Something about small wheels, I don't know what it is. Nimble. Right, so this is the hill that's normally a problem, so I'm going to stick it on climb here, and then obviously I've changed the gear of the Brompton gear set to the hill climbing one, and I mean I'm already pedaling too fast. It's just hauling me up this hill, no problem. So I'm going to actually have to change the gears down. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. I could probably even go to the next gear as well, look. That is absolutely bonkers. It's just hauling me up this hill, no problem at all. Guys, have you ever tried to pedal a Brompton uphill? It's not the easiest thing in the world, because they're sort of designed for the flat. But they're just such great bikes for commuting around town. Unfortunately, I've got a hill to climb every time I come back from the town, so wow. I mean, I'm putting a slight bit of effort in, but that's insane. It's absolutely insane. I mean, just, it's because the bike's so light, I think, as well. Just absolutely pulling me up. Wow. It's so cool. I'll tell you what, you do get a few looks on this as well, because of the white light looks a bit kind of different, which is what we liked originally. Originally it was red, which was a bit of a talking point, but yeah, you're supposed to have white on the front, really, red on the back. Yeah, no, it definitely catches some attention. Oh, it's just right on the edge of absolutely chucking it down. I can feel amazing performance from this little thing. Really is crazy, and this is legal power as well. Madness. This is going to end up being my daily. You know why? Because I can fold this up and just keep this inside the house, like literally next to my desk. I can fold this up, and it just, you know, I can keep it nice. I don't have to shove it in a shed and it gets, you know, wet and messy and everything else. Oh, flying machine. Doing nearly 20 mile an hour there. It's absolutely madness. I like the way it works in harmony with the gears though. That's just absolutely brilliant. So you can see I'm back now, and it all folds up nicely as well. So you have to move this round a little bit just to literally, you know, allow enough space for that kind of peg to go in the holder there. But effectively, you're good to go. Doesn't feel that much heavier than it did before.